speaker truly doesn't need an introduction, but I will certainly introduce her. Our eminent leader of today's events, Dr. Mei Gao. She is the mother of Sapo and has made it a real event, and even for a second time and in the future, I'm sure. Mei has many talents. She asks the right questions, she finds the right people to address them, and she communicates the essential information to help us solve these problems. And that's really what Sapo does. She is a professor of communications at Kennesaw State and coordinator of Asia Studies. So clearly those two things come together very nicely in putting this event together. I also have had the privilege to work with Mei on a number of events, including on research and writing articles together. So given that, please, Mei.
If I'm the mother of Sapo, you're the aunt of Sapo. Thank you so much for Scott and Roger for your presentation. I've learned a great deal, and especially I feel tired after listening to Roger. I think our audience are very sympathetic. So today I'm presenting to you my research findings out of 6 years of longitudinal research about the case of Home Depot and how they failed in China. I've been following them ever since December of 2006 when they entered China in acquiring the Chinese company Homeway. And they acquired the Homeway company and their 12 stores, each of 90,000 square feet in China. And I've been following them. I conducted 37 in-depth interviews with Home Depot customers, competitors, their lawyers, store managers, and Chinese customers. And when I was interviewing the attorney of the lead attorney of Home Depot, Mr. Gao, he was a best friend of mine from BYU, Brigham Young University. Later on, I found out by accident that he was the lead attorney for the Home Depot. So he got me, and I took my students with me too, and we visited Home Depot Beijing. And each of our students got a Chinese apron, Home Depot apron, and it says 家得宝, meaning treasures for your home. That's the translation for Home Depot in China. 家得宝. So it sounds like Home Depot, right? And I just want to say that I have 5 major goals in this paper, and it's published by Thunderbird International Business Review. In fact, yesterday I received the printed version of newly hot out of press of Thunderbird International Business Review. But if you want a free version, I have one too. So there are 5 major purposes of this research. Number 1 is to demonstrate the cultural challenges of an international retailer doing business in China, which can be applied to other cultures. To propose a KELM analysis model. KELM stands for Culture, Environment, Lifestyle, and Mentality of Key Segment Consumers. This is a new host culture analysis model, which my students are familiar because we talk about it all the time. Host culture, home culture, for TVS Design, United States is home culture, and the culture of Vietnam is the host culture. And we really need to do our homework to analyze the host culture before you make any investment or commitment. And we are going to develop a DIFM, a new business model. The Home Depot's business model, I think most of you know, is DIY, meaning do it yourself. You do it, we can help. And so they transfer that business model to China. Do it yourself in China. And so even when they found out it did not work in the first few years, they say, oh, China is developing fast. They'll catch up with the American style. So that's their mentality. If it works here, do it yourself. They think it will work in China because China is catching up with the American culture. So I'm I'm going to put that as a question mark for you all to think about. And in my paper, I'm also suggesting a UBS, a next generation store format concept for international retailers. UBS, Urban Boutique Store. I recommend urban boutique store for international retailers in high density downtown areas in Asia, not the same kind of warehouse selling. And number 5 is to showcase the effectiveness of using qualitative in-depth interviews and systematic observation as a research method to enrich case studies. So the question is, isn't China an ideal market for Home Depot? The private ownership since the economic reform of China of 1978 to today has risen to 70%. 70% of people in China actually own a house. The house, what they talk about, is a flat, it's a condo. Okay, it's our idea of condominium. But it may not have a parking spot on the first floor. So it's 70% of the people there in China own a condo, okay? And rise in people's income level, purchasing power, and property investment potential all encourage private home ownership in China. And every new couple, when they get married, to have a condo is a must, okay? And in China, there's a new term, it's called naked marriage. It doesn't mean that they're going to go naked. Like you guys, joint venture. So, in China, when young couples getting married, they don't like the naked marriage idea, which means that they like to have condos. Okay, they like to have condos. They like to have, they like to have a car. Each couple. Okay, so it's almost a must. For every new couple to get married, they have to buy a new condo. And when they buy this new condo, it's typically 3-bedroom and 2-bath condominium, and it's a concrete shell. It has nothing in it. Sometimes it doesn't even have a door and window. Certainly it doesn't have chandelier. Okay, no carpet, nothing in it, and it's a concrete wall. That's what they bought. But why is that? Because in the beginning, in the 1980s, the contractors put carpet in it, put light in it, and the owners, they bought it, they don't like it. They knock it out. They knock out the door and the window, and they take out the carpet because they want to have it the 5-star hotel standard. And every condo I want to be different. So the contractors say, rather than let you guys knock it out, I just won't build it. Okay? It's a concrete shell, so you can do whatever you want. In fact, even if it's a concrete shell, some owners buy it and they knock out the wall, And sometimes there has been warning, if you knock out the wall, you may knock out the whole building. So be careful, this wall you cannot knock out. Maybe you can knock out the other door. So China, and also China has been the world's largest building material market, both in production and in sales. In fact, if you go to the Home Depot, a lot of the stuff that they sell here are made in China. Okay, so you got a huge market there in China, and they produce these building materials. Sounds like it's perfect market for Home Depot. And Home Depot, is the largest building material retail store and the 4th largest retail store of any kind in the United States. So a booming housing market such as the one in China should boost the business of Home Depot. Why did Home Depot fail in China? The struggle Home Depot faced in China is common for many international retailers entering emerging markets. When we talk about emerging market, we talk about inconsistent policies and infrastructure. Still, trying to, even the government themselves are trying to figure out how to regulate everything. When customers in a foreign culture have different needs, marketers need to offer different products and services. So the key question is, why did Home Depot fail in China? Home Depot pulled out all of their stores and shut down their business in September of 2012. In 2006, Home Depot employed 3,000 associates and operated 12 stores in 6 cities: Tianjin, Beijing, Xi'an, Qingdao, Shenyang, Zhenzhou. and it's acquired from a Chinese company, Huawei. Tianjin was the anchor city. It had 5 stores. And Beijing had two stores for 17 million people. I just want you to imagine that Beijing has 5 ring roads, okay, 17 million people, and only 2 stores. So if you buy a light bulb and then find out you want to change to another type, do you want to go back and get it? Because it's going to, one way it's going to take you 2 hours with the traffic jam in Beijing. It's inconvenient for the whole city. Home Depot's China store was a big box operational model with an average of 90,000 square feet. And these are my more detailed information about the interviews that I conducted in China from 2006 to 2011. And so these are some of the results that I found. International retailers' target market in China. Currently, they should ignore suburban and rural customers for the moment, because that's not a sizable market for your product and your service. And then to target the middle class in top-tier cities. Middle class, in Chinese word, 中产, is a very important concept, and it's especially important for global companies to understand. And it's common in all BRIC countries, is that we need to take when international companies go to BRIC countries, you need to analyze the middle class. And those are the people with disposable money to buy your product. And those are people who actually many of them have Western experience, so they understand the value of Western brands. And then finally, target contractors. For example, an ordinary person like me buys a condo, right? And it's concrete shell. So I think I know what I want. You know, I may want a very nice carpet, and I want, you know, nice color of wallpaper, but I really don't care where to buy it. You know, I probably want to give it to a contractor. So most people in China sign with a contractor. They don't go to a store like Home Depot themselves to buy nails and carpet and wallpaper. They even don't know how much to buy, you know, because they're not expert. They know what they want. So this is the analysis model that I have developed out of my research, and I think it can be applied to any multinational corporations going to a different culture. So these are the 4 circles you need to analyze. The largest one is culture. You need to do research about the culture of the host country, including culture and language. And then business environment. Business environment is exactly what Roger mentioned. You know, the legal fees, the translation, the bureaucracy, the kickbacks under the table. And consumer lifestyle. By this, I mean your target market consumer lifestyle. You need to study what is the lifestyle of these people whom I'm going to sell stuff to, okay? So in China, the middle class, you know, their lifestyle is that they have a lot of disposable money. We have a lot of renewable rich. They got money to spend. And they, you know, they wouldn't do this kind of construction work themselves. That's just not their lifestyle. And consumer mentality. What are they thinking? What are these people thinking? What's their perspective? You know, one idea is that in China, manual labor is looked down upon. 劳心者治人，劳力者治于人. Meaning, you know, the person who, that's by Mencius, the disciple of Confucius, over 2,000 years ago. He told the Chinese people that if you use your intellect, then you'll be ruling other people. If you use your manual labor, you will be ruled by others. So that's one of the reasons why generations after generations in China, people want to get education. They want to get education so they can escape from manual labor. All right. So Home Depot tried to put them back to manual labor, and after 2,000 years of education. And so I am proposing do-it-yourself business model. I mean, sorry. The Home Depot wanted to do the do-it-yourself business model. It did not work in China. And when I used the kiln, culture, environment, lifestyle, and mentality analysis model. We looked at the whole, Home Depot need to look at the host culture, the language, the family, and the wedding situation and children. One-child policy, okay? The one child who is getting married has 2 parents and 4 grandparents. They're all giving this one child money to buy a condom, okay? And environment, there are a lot of under-the-table kickbacks. And when we go to Home Depot here, there are a lot of, I like to buy flowers and things. The garden area is big. When you go to China, the garden area is very small because they cannot compete with the traditional flower and bird markets, which has been in existence for over 2,000 years. A lifestyle of middle class, and I talk about their luxury-driven and the one-child generation. A little emperors and empresses growing up, and they don't want to do that later. So I suggest that they change from DIY to DIFM. Do it for me. And I suggest the urban boutique store concept. It should be small and located at every street corner with massive passenger flow, fitting with downtown concept of China. Okay, so in downtown, in China, it's not dangerous, unlike here in Atlanta. And the look must be nice, and the purpose must be provide luxury lifestyle of America, and especially female friendly, because we are the ones who decide how to spend money and what to spend, not the man. The man makes money, a woman spends money. You need to make sure the woman likes your product and your service. Okay, and these are some of the future strategies for Home Depot, and I'm running out of time.